Hello, I hope you're well. This is going to be about my labour. Let me just say, things did go wrong, things didn't go to plan, but I had a healthy baby at the end of it. But I did spend 6 days in hospital. So if you're pregnant, maybe don't watch this. Okay, just skip on to the positive birth stories. My little baby bear is asleep behind me, so I'm just gonna get straight into it. So the whole pregnancy was absolutely fine. I didn't actually have any morning sickness, any pregnancy complications. Everything was fine. I absolutely loved being pregnant so much. And I ended up being overdue. And they said you have to be induced. And then I got a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. That was on a Monday. And it said, come in now. We have space on the induction ward for you to be induced. So rushed, like got all my stuff, middle of the night, like got Dom, was like, we've got to go, we're gonna have the baby now. And then 24 hours passed and they did nothing. There was no reason for me to be there at 3 o'clock in the morning. 24 hours later, they were like, sorry, we're really short staffed. They said the only thing I could have done was the balloon. So I wanted either the pessary or the like the drip, the hormone drip, and they said no, we don't do that at this hospital first, you have to have the balloon first. So I was like, okay. That was so painful. Oh my god, I'm gonna try, like, I feel so bad. I feel like if you haven't had a baby yet, I don't want to put you off. It's the most amazing thing in the world to have a baby. Let me say that, all the pain, everything is 100% worth it as soon as you have your baby. And when I look at my baby and like baby bear smiles at me, I'm like, everything, I'd like, if they said you got to chop your arm off to get a baby, I'd be like, take the arm, you know. It was all 100% worth it. But the balloon, the pain. So they tried to do it, they couldn't because I was in so much pain. They said, okay, we're gonna try again, like a little bit, so you need to like calm down a little bit. And I'd been up obviously from 3 o'clock in the morning, it'd be 24 hours, it was Tuesday. I was absolutely exhausted. They kept also doing my blood pressure every 4 hours, so they'd wake me up and do my blood pressure, so I didn't get any sleep at all. So I was like, okay, we'll try again. And I just kind of, I don't know what happened, I just almost went into another space and just thought, I need to get the baby out. They kept saying it'd be fatal because you're so overdue, like so many complications can happen. So I was just thinking, I need to get the baby out safely. So I just kind of braced myself. I had gas and air as well, and it didn't work for me at all, the gas and air, for some reason. And they did it, it was so painful. And they said, okay, now that you've started the induction process, you can't go home. You have to stay in the hospital until the baby is born because the risk of infection is so high. So you have to wait for 24 hours. If the balloon comes out by itself, then that means like your waters are going to break and everything's going well. If it doesn't, then it's a failed induction and they do the next thing. 24 hours passed, absolutely nothing happened. They had to take the balloon out, and then they said like I wasn't dilated and everything, so they were going to take me down to the delivery suite and they were going to see what they could do down there. And I was thinking, are they going to break my waters? What's going to happen? They then put me on a hormone drip, which is what I wanted originally. The hormone drip it just kickstarts all your hormones to get ready for labour, and which will hopefully break your waters. So I was on the hormone drip for forever. I don't know how long, but it was literally, it felt like forever on this hormone drip. Different midwives were ending their shifts and then coming on shift and then ending their shift with me. It was ridiculous. Then the midwife said, okay, I think it's time for us to try and break your waters. This was the worst bit of the whole entire thing, let me say. So I was like, okay, fine. I was kind of excited. I was thinking, oh, okay, cool, like they're gonna break my waters and then everything will get going. I had contractions and they had shown up on the machine as well, that it just felt like a really intense tightening, like when you do like a crunch and then you hold it, you know, remember in like PE when your teacher was like, and hold it now, and it felt like you were there for 10 minutes. That's what it just felt like, really uncomfortable crunch feeling in my stomach. So the midwife tried to break my waters and said, I cannot break your waters at all, and I don't think it'd be right for me to break your waters right now. It just doesn't like feel right, and I don't think you're far enough along for this, but I'm going to ask the head midwife in charge to have a look. So the head of like the whole ward, she came in and she said, oh no, wait, I'll be able to break your waters. And so she said, okay, right, you're going to have to use the gas and layer. This is going to be really painful because your waters aren't anywhere near naturally breaking. So the gas and air hadn't worked for me earlier, so I didn't think it would, but it did work this time. And she was, and I was breathing on it and then looking at her as if to say, like, when are you going to start doing this? And she was like, you'll want to do it some more. That was really my sign that this is going to be so incredibly painful, that I'm like really lightheaded and going, yeah, I'm ready. And she's like, no, keep going on the gas and air. That was obviously the sign of, you need to brace yourself for this. So she was like, okay, I'm going to do it now. Like, just try and stay on the gas and air for as long as you can. If you want me to stop, I'll stop. But just like try as long as you can on the gas and air. It was crazy, the pain. I feel like my soul left my body. Like I was almost watching myself. Also, I thought with gas and air, oh sorry, I got a biscuit tin on the floor there. This is Dom's side of the bed. So, look at me. I wouldn't possibly have biscuits. It's Dom's side of the bed. No, like, we do eat biscuits in bed. Put that there. But, so the pain was unbelievable. She managed to do it, and the gas and air, oh yeah, I thought it would kind of make me numb, almost like an epidural, but not at all. So I could still feel it, and I could also, just the whole thing of it, like the pulling of it was just very traumatic, the whole thing. So she managed to break my waters, and also the only reason I think it was so like bad is because my body wasn't anywhere near my waters being broken, but because I was so overdue, they said this baby has to come out. So maybe, you know, if I had been a little bit dilated, I wasn't dilated at all by this point. If I'd been a little bit dilated, then that would have been obviously easier for them to do it. So she broke my waters. I then, like, other midwives came and gone off their shift. I was barely dilated every time, like, they checked on me and everything. At one point, this woman put on this lamp. So we're there, like, I'm there with my birthing partners, just there. This new midwife comes on. It's during the day at this point. It's like Thursday at this point. And she shut the blinds in the room, so blocked out all the natural light, and then put on this galaxy light that projects the galaxy onto the sky in different colours. And I was just thinking, no, now is not the time. I was like so traumatised by the pain. I wasn't allowed to eat anything. I had barely slept for 4 days. And now you're putting on this light. So this is going to help relax you. Let me say, oh, you're all right. They then said, do you want an epidural? Because we have an anaesthetist, we only have one anaesthetist on. If you want an epidural, you need to get your epidural now, because later on there won't be anyone on to do it. So I said yes to the epidural, got that done, and then hours passed, different midwives came and gone, nothing progressed. And then the like head doctor came in, and she examined me and she said, you're going to have a cesarean. That's what I would recommend. It wasn't an emergency cesarean. So I could have carried on, but they said the baby is moving, but is got like kind of stuck. And it's been so long since your first induction, because obviously it had been like 6 days by this point. So she was like, the risk of infection is very high and you've got a temperature, so I think you've already got an infection. I really was very reluctant to have a cesarean. You have to sign a form that says that if anything goes wrong, basically your family members can't sue the hospital. So it really felt like I was signing my life away. It's a bit later, as you can see, like the natural light has gone outside. So I'm just going to film over here. Baby bear woke up, and then I was just staring at them, to be honest with you. They went back to sleep, and then I was just staring at them like, ah, and then remembered, oh, let me finish this video. So the doctor said if it was me, I would have a cesarean. Like, it could be fatal. That's what I recommend you have. So I decided yes. I was very upset, crying, really didn't want to have the cesarean. They then said, oh my god, I embarrassed myself again. They said, like, what options do you want for the cesarean? Is there anything you kind of want? And I said, I've got a box for my placenta. And she was like, oh, okay. And then I got out a Tupperware box that I had for my placenta and handed it to her, and she was like, okay, I'm thinking more like music. Do you want any music? playing in the room or anything like that? Do you want the screen to be taken down when the baby's born? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So my favourite singer is Jessie J. I actually went to see Jessie J when I was pregnant with Baby Bear, and Jessie J was also pregnant at the same time at the concert. Yes? Do you remember? Did you hear her when you were in the womb? Did you go, oh yeah, I remember that concert? And so I went on Spotify, just found a random Jessie J playlist, gave him that, and then I said, yeah, when he's born, I want the thing taken down a bit so I can see him, and then I want skin to skin as well. So they did all of that. The cesarean happened. They narrate it for you, and I'm guessing you can ask not to have that, because I didn't know that was going to happen. If I had to have cesarean again, I would ask no narration. I don't need that. So there was a man throughout the whole procedure narrating it. Okay, so now they're doing this. You're going to feel some pulling and you're going to feel some pressure, and I didn't want the narration. I was trying to listen to the music. I was trying to, you're obviously waiting for that first cry and everything. I didn't need the narration. And I could feel the pulling. I could feel all the pressure. I didn't need someone to like tell me. I was going through it. Like at the time, I could feel it. So the whole thing happened. I then had some skin to skin. I then felt like I was, like my eyes were going. And basically they gave Dom the baby and then said to me, like afterwards, they didn't know why that was, but Dom said it was very frightening at the time because he was handed our baby, and then he said all these people rushed in the room. They were like, Hannah, wake up, like open your eyes, and I just couldn't open my eyes for whatever reason. I don't know if I was given too much or before I was given an epidural. I don't know. They didn't even know what happened with that, but that was it. I then got taken to a ward. I got given antibiotics. Baby Bear got given antibiotics because they said you've got a infection, and we know you've got. What are you doing? Are you? Are you purring like Loli? Like Lola? We had like a thing put into our hands, and Baby Bear had like kind of a splint on the whole arm to hold the thing to put the, you know, drugs into the arm, and had to keep this splint on. So the next day they gave us our test results and said there's no infection, you didn't need the cesarean. But as like it was going on for so long, even without having the infection, I think they would have still recommended having a cesarean, because it had been 6 days since the induction and nothing was happening, and then obviously it'd been 6 days and I was becoming even more overdue and nothing was progressing. And so I don't know what the right thing would have been or not to be. Like looking back on it now, I've got a beautiful healthy little baby, and so I don't really have like regrets of anything, because I just feel it happened the way it was going to happen, and that was it. I just filmed a video about my labour. Is there any thoughts you want to add into it? I said it all worked out in the end because we've got our beautiful Baby Bear. It all worked out. There was a lot that went wrong, but it all worked out. What do you want to add?
Week-long ordeal, isn't it? Basically.
Week-long ordeal.
Well, it was. We went in on the, was it Saturday or Sunday night after
Monday.
After spending all day in the waiting room
stayed
on the
till
Friday
Sunday.
or Saturday, the day before.
Oh, right, gorgeous.
And then obviously he was born Friday morning, was it? Late Friday, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
Like early mornings of Saturday.
So it was basically a week in hospital.
So a week-long ordeal is your summary. The miracle of childbirth, and you're like, a week-long ordeal.
It was. It was pretty bad on you, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it all worked out in the end.
Of course it did, yeah.
We got our little Baby Bear. And I don't even know what we would change, because so much happened.
Yeah.
And so many different things happened that went wrong. I don't even know what I would change if I went back.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't have been induced.
I don't know. So there's Dom's opinions. A week-long ordeal is his summary of the experience. I'm going to end this video here, and feel free to subscribe for like vlogs of our lives, and I'm doing hauls mum hauls of different stuff like that, mum life. And feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you again soon for another video.